Hello, and welcome to another Saturday food support group. We have these Zoom meetings every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I just invite people to come and to share their stories because I've had so many people reach out to me in private messages and tell me their stories. And I just couldn't keep it for myself. I had to share with you all of the beautiful things that are happening when people break their addiction to sugar and carbs and processed food. And they get their brains back, they get their bodies back, they get their lives back. And they're just so excited that they can't wait to tell. And so I informed everyone that I would be recording these meetings, and I encouraged them that if they wanted to remain anonymous, that they can turn the camera off. But a lot of people they want to share. They want to share what has happened to them, and they're so excited about their new life. And then I also open it up for questions. If people are still struggling and they're still on this journey, that they can come and ask questions. But if you need more individualized care than just in a group like this, feel free to email me at innerclaritysystem@gmail.com, and I'll walk you through what it looks like to work with me one-on-one. All right, thanks. I hope you enjoy the group. Hello, good morning. We got another Saturday food support group. Thank you guys so much for coming. And I love doing this. I love just giving you guys a space to join and to talk about things as far as this way of eating, and to give you guys a platform to share your story. So today, Tom would like to share his story with us. So Tom, tell us what your experience has been like.
Well, a little background. I'm retired Navy, 25 years.
Wow.
I'm 61 years old, and I started in about 2012. I was having back issues for a while. I was an athlete in high school and college, and did a lot of different sports, and was always active. But my back started hurting in about 2000 all the way to 2012, but is when it came to a head. And I was in just the worst pain imaginable. So I went in and had an MRI, and I had a herniated disc, and then they found a tumor on my sacrum, which is like, the S1 way down there. And, I was in a hospital for a couple of weeks. I had, they thought, if I only had 6 months to live, they didn't know what it was. And it turned out to be a schwannoma tumor, which is a benign tumor, but they were preparing me for like 2 weeks, 6 months to live type stuff. And then,
wow.
Yeah. So, my weight was like, I had hardly any body fat then. This was 2012. My right leg though was kind of withering away from not the muscle what do you call
Atrophy.
that? Atrophy. Thank you for helping me with that one. And so long story short is over the years, as the weight started coming on after not being able to be as active. Then I had a knee replacement. Then I had another back surgery where I had multi-level dysfusion. So it just kept getting worse. And so and I knew I was in trouble physically. I was just, I got all the way up to 300 pounds, which I never imagined I would ever get to 300 pounds. I weighed 303 pounds January of this year.
What?
Yeah.
No. 2022?
2022, I weighed 303 pounds.
Wow.
January. So I got to February, and of course I'm seeing different doctors, heart doctor. I'm on atorvastatin, the statin, the usual statins they give you. I'm on all the drugs they give you for, and I'm pretty sure in my mind I knew I had diabetes. So I finally went to the doctor early February. Actually, it was in January, and I had I found out I had type 2 diabetes. My A1C was 8.2%. Cholesterol was up, everything. My blood pressure was 165, 175. So I said to myself, I'm going to die soon if I don't do something. So I was thinking about doing the surgery, where the
gastric bypass.
Yeah, the gastric bypass. And I actually made the appointment and everything. And then I said, there's got to be a different way. So then I I Googled how to reverse or reduce diabetes or help diabetes. And then first thing I found was Michaela Peterson's Don't Eat That video. Incredible
Awesome.
video. I think I've watched that video about 10 times already,
Awesome.
including her version on the subsequent the Oxford debate that she did, and some other.
Yes.
And then I found the video where you were interviewed on. That's how I found you. You were like my second video that you were
Aw.
on. The interview the four people, and you and Kelly Hogan. Of course, Kelly's one of my other favorites.
Yes.
And so I did carnivore. I started carnivore on February 5th. I went to the grocery store in my local area where I live in Maryland. And I said, I want that. I want those two tomahawks there. I want those two. I bought all this really, about $300 worth of meat. So there was this young man standing next to me, and the guy's like looking at me and said, I'm doing carnivore. And so this teenager, I think not teenager, he was probably in his early 20s. He goes, oh yeah, I'm doing carnivore. I've been doing it for 6 months. It cleared my acne. Nothing else ever cleared my acne. And I said, this is like the first day, right? So I'm like, I was like, oh, okay, so this is good. This is good. And so I came home. So that day I went cold turkey. And I mean, I had a sangria addiction. I was drinking 1 to 2 sangria glasses every night. It's my favorite drink, by the way. And I was Coke Zero. I drink Coke Zero all the
Uh,
time. So on February 5th, I went cold turkey. I didn't like go to keto. I went straight carnivore, and I haven't had a single drink since February 5th. I haven't had a Coke Zero since February 5th, which is
wow.
crazy, by the way.
Wow.
My A1C went from 8.2 to 5.8 in only 35 days.
Oh my gosh.
I lost 30 pounds in the first 35 days. A lot, and that's probably all, bloating and stuff like that. I went down. So I actually lost 50 pounds up to about the 45th day. I think it was 50 pounds, but I've been fluctuating between over 5 pounds in the last couple of weeks. And there was a period there, I was like, drop 20. I stayed and I lost 28 pounds after staying the same weight for 2 weeks. And people weren't believing me and all that stuff. And I was like, so even my doctor on the phone, he goes, I said, I need to stop this medicine because I went from 8.2 to 5.8. He goes, yeah, but you got, fatty liver. I had fatty liver too, by the way. So, and then he didn't believe me, I don't think. So, and then when I went into the second blood test, this is like 2 months, my A1C was 5.7. And I said, my A1C was going to be 5.7 today. He goes, yeah, okay. So he goes, it's 5.7. He couldn't believe it. He was like 5.7. So I haven't checked it in like a month. So now I'm down to, I weigh 255 pounds now in only 2 months, 2 months and 2.5 months.
Wow.
And I'm down 2 pant sizes already. So.
And how do you feel?
I feel so good. I'm not doing stuff now. I dug it last week, 2 weekends ago. I dug a trench in my backyard and put a pipe in about 30 foot. I would have never been able to do that. I probably would have been dead if I would have been.
At 61.
At 61. I would have dropped dead of a heart attack if I had not gone on carnivore. If I did that trench. Why? Because you're not doing that trench. But so she was away on vacation for a week with her son. She went to Disney World with her son for a week. I sent her away because she didn't need a mental break. And I said, I'm gonna do the trench while she's away. And I did it. I didn't even tell her. I said, look how the backyard is not wet anymore. Because I did that trench here. And I showed her the pictures and all that. She's like, you did all that? And I was like, yeah. So now after I'm done with the call here, I'm going to go fix my lawnmower and go work in the backyard. So just amazing stuff. Of course, I'm found all the doctors too. And, I'm a doctor, but I'm not a medical doctor. But I know how to do research. And what makes me mad is that, and I'm sorry, I'm just blabbing away. I don't know if
No, bring it.
So what the videos that the listening to the doctors, like Ken Berry is obviously great.
Yeah.
Sean Baker, Paul Mason, the guy from Australia.
Yeah.
His videos are mind blowing because the reason why is because he presents the evidence and he shows you in these graphs. And I'm like, I'm going to go to my doctor and say, oh, by the way, I stopped taking atorvastatin a month ago, and I'm already feeling my brain fog has gone away. In 2 weeks, brain fog has gone away. So it's helped me professionally too. I can like do briefs again where I'm not like searching for words, things like that. And yeah, just like a new person. And I'm even in this short period of time. I mean, we've all had these fads where, like, I did Weight Watchers, years and years ago, where I got down below my high school weight, but I couldn't keep it. And one thing I instinctively knew on this when I first started it, that I'll be able to do it because I love to eat, for one. And
Mm.
it's not a diet to me. I mean, yeah, it's a diet, it's a way of eating. It's not a diet. I'm not like counting calories, which is huge for me because I don't care. Like yesterday, I ate like, I think about 5 steaks. I don't know. I was eating steaks all day yesterday, including this morning for breakfast with eggs. So,
That's
but
great.
Dr. Paul Mason, his research of the stuff that he's been doing is mind blowing, and it makes me mad too. I mean, what else have we been lied to about? So I don't trust anything anymore as far as what they're telling us about eating, medications. And I sit here and it's sad because I listen to all these people out there in the world about their plant-based stuff, and they're trying to go plant-based stuff. Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland in the country so he can
Yep.
so he can have the monopoly on that. And they're really pushing plant-based stuff when in fact it's oh, I did the Dr. Gundry thing too for a little while. I mean, not that I don't, he's not right about a lot of the stuff he says, but um, it's just that's not the way to go either. It's really, I mean, yes, he's right about the plants trying to kill you type stuff but carnivore is the only way really. Keto, if you can't, is another method, of course, of doing it. But some people can't just go cold turkey. But I didn't have withdrawals. I don't crave. I can walk by the cookie aisle now and go, I don't need you.
Wow. So
So
what
that's
do you eat, Tom?
anything I can get my hands on that's carnivore. Now, I like steaks, of course, my favorite. I can do the hamburgers from time to time. One thing that we used to always have is chicken all the time, and I got tired of chicken just before when I was eating a standard American diet. I haven't had any chicken since I started, and
Mm.
I don't miss it really. I may have some at some point, but I just in my back of my mind there's antibiotics in there. I just don't trust chicken as much as I trust the other stuff, and
Yeah.
I feel better when I have steak, butter, bacon, and eggs. I just feel good after eating that stuff. Now, there's things that I can do better on. Like I'm drinking the or the electrolyte drinks, the powder stuff that you put in there, not the LMT. I did that first. My wife's freaking out because it had 1,200 because of the salt content, and I said, and everybody's always freaking out. My son, he was like, when I first started this, he's like, Dad, it's red meat. You're gonna have it. And I said, no, no, no. You've heard all that stuff, all those lies that you were fed before. Everybody has this aversion to red meat because of what they were told. And I'm trying to overcome all that. And my wife's on board with it, everything. But I'm trying to I have to find a way because I think I replaced my Coke Zero addiction with drinking too much. Like I only drink a couple cups of coffee in the morning, but the electrolyte drinks that are zero sugar, which are probably not perfect for me, but I got to have something. So that's pretty much it. So I'm totally convinced that this is the way to eat for the rest of my life, no doubt about it. And so when I go back to the doctor, I want to say no, I'm not. I'm off that medicine. I'm still on medications. Don't get me wrong. So I'm on metformin, which he put me on when he found out I had type 2, and that gave me that I had side effects from that. I had rash underneath my arms so I wanted to stop it. And he said, no, you got type 2 diabetes. I said, wait a minute, do I have type 2 diabetes now? Because forgot about my blood sugar. My blood sugar went from 140 something to I had the lowest one was 91 in just this short period of time. So,
Wow.
and blood pressure is down to almost normal.
Awesome.
So I know I'm forgetting a lot of things, but I'm seeing a lot of things in a short period of time, which always happens with me. Yeah. So it's just I feel so much better, and I'm still technically obese. I still have the belly, but I no longer have Dunlap disease. Of course, Dr. Ken Berry says Dunlap with your belly, Dunlap over your belly. So it doesn't Dunlap over my belt anymore. As a matter of fact, just a little while ago, I was looking at it, I said, holy mackerel, I don't have Dunlap anymore. I
Wow.
still have a belly that needs to go down, but it's not like humongous anymore.
Yeah,
I
but
used
we're
to
talking like 2 months, Tom.
2 months.
That's amazing.
Is that freaking
It's
crazy or what?
crazy.
That's why people don't believe me. I'm like, I lost 50 pounds. Well, when did you, how long have you lost it? 50 pounds in 2 months. Oh, no, you haven't. Come on. No, I lost 50 pounds in 2 months.
That I think that speaks so much to just jumping in.
Yeah.
I think that people get really frustrated when they try and keep that Coke Zero or they
Oh,
keep
yeah.
that sangria, and they're like, I'm eating mostly meat. I'm like, okay, but there's a huge difference between 90% carnivore and 100% carnivore.
Yeah.
And 90% carnivore is so difficult, but 100% carnivore is so much easier.
It's easy. It's like, it's so easy. And I instinctively knew it when I started. I said, I'm going to be able to do this because because before you go, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. That means I'm going to eat less. And you just already psyching yourself out. And you don't have to psych yourself out now. You can just do it. And now it is, the price of meat's going up, so we have to find more creative ways. I'm loving the meatloaf. I'm hungry now thanks to the meatloaf I saw earlier before the video started recording. I forget who it was that was showing that. I'm coming over soon.
Jackie, yeah.
Jackie, I'm coming over to Jackie's house to have some meatloaf because I love meatloaf. That's what I'm having today. Not meatloaf, but I'm going to make myself some hamburger patties today. So because I
Yeah.
had to start saving some money because so I bought a bunch of hamburger meat in bulk that I'm gonna form into patties. But the meatloaf though, I may just make a meatloaf. I've never made a meatloaf patty. That just
There's recipes out there. I would go on YouTube and look up carnivore meatloaf because most
oh,
carnivores put breadcrumbs in it. Yeah,
oh yeah,
Jackie's was a roast, but it
okay,
did look like a meatloaf in that pan.
it did, didn't it?
Yeah,
Jackie, I'm
but
hitting you up at this carnivore meatloaf.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But your story is phenomenal because I honestly I feel like you still have so much more left in your life at 61.
Yeah,
But it's so great to know that even at 61 that you're able to break that addiction, like you said, to the sangria and to the Coke Zero. And to really just your why was there. Like you were just like, I'm gonna die.
yeah,
Like I'm gonna die. I have
yeah.
to change this. And to really jump in and do that. That's amazing, Tom.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been very cool. And that people at work, are noticing, of course. They're like, you lose weight? I'm like, yeah, 50 pounds. What? You know, so,
That's crazy.
so
And that mental clarity, that you're
yeah.
sharper, you're more on your game.
Now maybe I ought to actually buy. I have to buy a new wardrobe again now. I've already had to. So now I'm just buying like one or two pairs of pants, and then wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till I get to whatever rock bottom is. It's not the true rock bottom. It's actually heaven. I think when you get to that point, instead of rock bottom, it'll be the opposite of rock bottom. And then
Exactly.
I
The
can go and buy.
mountaintop.
I couldn't buy shirts. I mean, I always had to buy the big and tall because my neck was like 22, 23. And now it's down to a size where I can actually buy a shirt that I don't have to go to big and tall, because then it's too big, so it looks like I'm wearing a parachute. So I started wearing collared shirts to work, and I'm a senior guy in the Coast Guard, and I'm like, not military wise, but government wise, and I can't, the suits I had to get were just not, I just didn't look good. I didn't feel good. I never was really depressed, but I wasn't really happy. I don't know if that makes sense, um, but I just like, this is not working. I wasn't walking my dogs as long as I used to. I used to walk them 3 miles every night. Like my last night, Bailey's really happy because I've been walking him. I call it the long walk, and he's all happy because I'm walking him the long walk now instead of just
Awesome.
around the block. So
That's incredible. Well, since you're at the beginning of this journey, I would love to hear what advice you would have for someone who, say, is starting on Monday.
if somebody's starting on Monday, I don't know. Well, first of all, they may or may not. Don't worry about it if you don't have to go cold turkey like me. You can probably start out doing keto. So if you're scared about just doing straight carnivore and you're worried about it, you can start keto and do slow. And if you watch Dr. Barry's videos that he does, he has a lot of videos on that, and he's probably has the best advice on what to do. He and his wife.
Yeah.
And because she does more of the keto version, and he started keto and now he does carnivore. Now, if you have a lot of problems like what Michaela Peterson, or mental issues, what others has, then you may have to go more strict. So, and I know you know what I'm talking about, because I
Yeah.
mean, you were the first ones, you and Michaela and Kelly Hogan. Well, Kelly she just found it and she just did it, and she had other issues, but she's been for 11 years, and she does straight carnivore, I think.
Yeah. Pretty
Um,
much. Yep.
Same thing with Laura Spath. She does straight carnivore. So my advice would be just if you think you can go straight carnivore, that would be the best. Bacon, butter, beef, bacon, butter, eggs is what Dr. Berry says.
Yes.
And that's it really. And you can have fish. I mean, and that includes salmon, fish, fish products. But if you can't have any of those, there's so many varieties that somewhere you're going to find something that you're going to like, and you can do it. But I would just say don't worry about starting straight carnivore if you don't think, if you're freaked out about it. Do keto first. You can stay keto. You can just keep doing keto probably and be all right. But if you have serious problems, like mine was pretty serious. I was like oh my God, if I don't do something soon, I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I just lost my older brother a year and a half before. He died in the basement. And I said, I don't want to be just sitting in a chair, died in the basement. And I just don't want to have that happen to me. So.
Well, you're thriving. And I'm so happy and I'm so thankful that you came and joined us today to share your story, because I'm telling you, somebody's going to hear this and this is going to change somebody's life. And this is going to encourage somebody. So thank you so much for offering your time. And your story. I'm so inspired. Thank you so much.
Well, you inspired me first, so thank you.
There you go. We paid each other back. Awesome. So does anybody have something that they want to add? Anything about your journey? Just feel free to raise your hand in the meeting. It's under reactions. You just raise your hand and let me know if you want to share what your experience is like, or a question if you guys have a question. Chris, yeah, go ahead. Oh, can you unmute it?
Okay.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Emily. I'm very thankful to be here. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'll share a little bit. My brain is coming back.
Wow.
I'm quite emotional today because I can really relate to a lot of the things that Tom is saying. I suffer with severe degenerative arthritis issues. Just so many issues, psychological issues, you name it, I've got it. And eating this way, I started on September 11th, and I really honed in over the last 3 months, and now I am down to just beef. I was doing I transitioned from whole food, plant-based, vegan. And then I thought about keto again. And then I started back in, and the last 3 months, it's been beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And now over the last 3 weeks, it's just been beef and eggs. And now I'm just down to beef. And I feel like a whole new human being.
Wow.
I'm emotional because I can relate to Tom. Like, I was going to die if I didn't do something drastic. And I'm just so thankful for you, Emily, that I feel like a whole new my brain is giving me more than I can even process right now. I have such a mental clarity that I've probably never experienced. My weight is just naturally just falling off. I didn't do this to lose weight, but it's just coming off. I weigh in every Monday. I've lost 3 pounds over the last week. I've got energy. I'm not bedridden anymore.
That's amazing.
mean, yeah, I'm still sick, but I feel like I'm healing more and more every day. I'll never go back. I will never go back.
That's so incredible. And your story is so inspiring, because you had every excuse to just lay down and let life run you over.
I
You
did.
had every excuse, but you chose not to. You chose not to be the victim. You chose to take your health into your hands, and turn it around. You turned it on its head. Like, that's absolutely amazing.
I feel like it's been a miracle. I like tripping over my words here because I can't say enough good things about this. You know, I was taught that you don't eat meat. And it was suggested by the doctors to try, you know, a whole food plant-based diet. And I did it for 14 months, like right down to a science. And I was just getting worse and worse. I couldn't really pinpoint what was going on, but it just didn't feel good to me. My irritable bowel syndrome, just everything. And now my IBS is in remission. Just that in of itself. Just that in of itself is amazing, that I'm not in the emergency room, doubled over in pain. And there are so many benefits to this. I'm sleeping better over the last 3 weeks. I'm having my steak and going to bed and waking up sore because I'm waking up in the same spot.
That's great.
That
great.
doesn't happen with me. I'm tossing and turning in pain. And then, yeah, it does hurt when I wake up because now I have to, like, you know, my joints are still rusty. So I have to like warm up like an old Buick, but still in all, I will never go back. I don't crave sugar anymore. My last big addiction that I'm working on right now is caffeine. I'm like clenched onto that for dear life. And I know it's got to go.
It's a hard one.
It really is. It's hard, but I know I can do this. I know I can. I'm just choosing to still nurse this addiction. But I'm gonna keep going, and I'm just so thankful I have the opportunity to share my story here and have the support, because it is scary. Because, you know, I wasn't taught. The doctors and everything say, don't do it. You're going to get gout. You're going to get this and that. But I can't deny the way I feel. Like, I've got my mind back. And I think that's a good starting point. If I don't have
everything.
If I don't have my mind, I've got nothing. So
absolutely.
I'm so thankful to be here and just keep talking. And I'm feeling better every week. And I'm just so thankful.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Chris. And I really do appreciate your story, because just the hopelessness, whenever you describe what it was like before, the hopelessness, I believe, is what so many people are experiencing, to feel like this is it. It doesn't get any better. It only is going to continue to get worse, and then I'm going to die. But your life had a different story to it. And I am so excited, and I cannot wait to watch you continue to heal.
Thank you, Emily. I have hope. So
yes. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And Jackie, you wanted to share something?
I was just going to say, as of day before yesterday, is 1 month of my experiment of doing beef, salt, and water.
Okay.
And I was telling my friend Karen Miles, I see she's on here. Yay, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
That I'm, a little bit like, oh my, because the scale actually was going up. I've actually gained weight.
Yes.
But then on the 1 month mark, I did the measurements and I lost half an inch. So I just wanted to say, wow, how weird and how amazing that is, to gain weight on the scale, but lose a half an inch in measurements. So that was really cool. I'm not doing anything, no coffee, just beef, salt, and water. That's the only thing I've had, except at my Pacific Northwest Carnivores meetup, which we had last weekend. I accidentally said yes to the meat that had some garlic and butter on it.
Oh, yeah.
So oh my gosh, that was good.
It was a good
But
mistake.
I had that, and then I'm over it and back to the beef, salt, and water. But yeah, so my experiment's going well. I'm trying to do this for 90 days and just see what happens. Been carnivore for 2 years, so it's kind of fun to tweak and just see. And I was talking about the roast earlier. So I just take a roast. This is like a 2-pound chuck roast. And I throw it literally in the crock pot and 8 hours on low, and nothing but salt. I put a little salt on there, but nothing else. No water, no special work. It's the fastest thing before work to have dinner ready when I get home. So just saying, get yourself a chuck roast and a crock pot and you got meat like now. So that's the most amazing, fastest, like no time in the kitchen, hardly at all. That's all I have.
No, that's awesome. And I'm so glad that you shared that story because, I think at the beginning, we're trying to weed stuff out and we're trying to do the best that we can. And it's so cool to know that you can even step up your healing even more. And so what was your experience like getting off the coffee? How was that for you, for people who are maybe wanting to try that?
I was carnivore for a year. This is early 2021. And I tried to do this whole thing, the beef, salt, water, no coffee. And I made it 3 weeks and then I couldn't stand it. The whole time I was just, I had coffee. All I could think about was every other kind of meat besides beef. And I just couldn't keep doing it. So I quit and went back to all the things, the fish and the pork, like ribs and all those things I love. And I just didn't worry about it again. And then I really have had a struggle with lattes, which is made with whole milk. And they're so good. And I got addicted to them, literally addicted. It's an addiction. I know this now. I even got Karen on them when we were in Jersey together last year. And they're good, but I couldn't seem to stop. And I was having 3 or 4 of those a week, plus coffee with heavy cream. And it was not doing me any favors at my, scale fluctuating and all that. So I really wanted to get off the coffee because when I quit, I would get a headache, like so massive, almost what normal people would call a migraine. I'm not a headache person. I don't get those. So I finally, this last 6 months, I went decaf for 6 months. And that's way I could like do a fast or something if I wanted to without the headache. Well, when I went to do this beef, salt, water, quitting the coffee was no problem. Like, wow, I just stopped. So I think maybe you can stop coffee for a couple of weeks, but I quit the caffeine for 6 months. And now I was able to quit coffee without even, I'm not, I gotta have it. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. So, wow. Yeah. So maybe, my favorite thing to say is no means not now. Doesn't mean you can't ever, just means not now. You're not ready right now. So if you're trying to do something and your body's fighting you with it,
just not now.
It's just not now. So do it at some point later. And I'm going to do a post about that because I really have had no problem this time doing the beef, salt, water, doing no coffee, really easy. It's actually so amazing how good I feel. So good. It's great. It's wonderful.
Well, and I think it's so important to listen to your body, to listen to the signs and the signals that your body is telling you and to kind of like hold on to that because you knew the whole time that it was a problem for you, that it was an addiction, but you just allowed yourself to heal long enough. And then to, I believe, even have that inspiration to go decaf for 6 months, Yeah. And then you were listening to your body and allowing your body to gradually let go of this addiction instead of ripping the Band-Aid off.
Decaf is the methadone of coffee.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I am so glad. I'm so glad that you're feeling so good. And thank you so much for just being on this journey. I love your posts. And thanks for sharing your story.
Awesome. Thanks. I love this group. Nice.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, Jackie. Ivana, you would like to share?
Hello, guys. Has been a while. I missed a few meetings as well, but I have some ups and downs that happened to me these few weeks, and
Yeah, tell me.
but I'm actually holding up very well. I'm very proud of my reaction. But
Good.
I had my daughter. She turned 3. We had a party at home. I was very concerned about the food and everything else, but I tried to really like not have too much leftovers, just
Yeah.
think ahead, because I had to have a lot of things that I don't actually eat. Because you invite people over, it's their choices as well, and you don't want them to. I don't know. I just think that way. So, and then I ate some cake, and then I had some alcohol as well. Then I just went back to normal afterwards. Then other I tried to keep up with that, and then 2 more weeks came over, and then have another party, and then I have alcohol again. So I'm kind of debating with myself right now. Like, I really try to keep carnivore most of the time, and I'm doing that, like eating wise. Besides the cake, oh sorry, I had a cheesecake as well on one Saturday. But besides that, I'm really keeping up with it's just really what I'm thinking right now is the alcohol. I'm debating with myself. Last night I was showering. I was like, what is that I have to? I'm not really big drinker. I'm not. I'm just having fun with some people that I'm getting to meet, and partying with the kids, and having fun with the moms is something I didn't have for so long, because when I got pregnant after I had my daughter, I got myself in a bubble. I didn't see people at all. So I'm kind of debating with myself about that. Yes, I don't have to drink. Nobody's putting down my throat now. But I don't know. I like the fun of it that was like with doing this kind of things. So I'm just kind of debating about that. I'm not doing anything like sugary stuff like that. Do like some vodka or whiskey. I really like whiskey. I don't know. Whiskey, I think, is fine as well, right? I'm not sure about it, but
yeah, something about the way that bourbon and whiskey is distilled, as the same way with vodka, it seems to have less of a reaction, especially for people with autoimmune disease. I found that they can tolerate the straight alcohol, so much better. And like I said, it's something about the way that it's distilled. But there's anything with wine or beer, the sugar in the wine and the hops in the beer automatically has a reaction for almost all people. So yeah, that would be my suggestion if you are going to have liquor or alcohol, to just have the straight vodka or the straight bourbon, and then you can put in some lime juice or or like bubbly water, like carbonated water, something like that to keep it interesting, so that you can still participate in social situations like that. I have noticed though that I'm a lot more of a lightweight now. So you have to be careful with your alcohol to make sure that you don't drink too much, because then when you're blitzed out of your mind, you're like, oh yeah, I want some pizza, so to keep that kind of like in control. But that makes sense for you to experiment with that.
Yeah, I'm noticing. I noticed this 2 times that I had some alcohol on the weekend. I didn't have much of cravings, and when I ate the cheesecake as well, I was easy. I could easily go back to my eating just meat all the time. Which other times I would just go down the hill like for a good month or something like that, until I realized that, oh my gosh, I feel so awful. I gotta get back to, I that happened to me very often. But I don't want to make that something. How can I say this? I don't want to make that a habit to have here and there. I just went with the flow. It was my daughter's birthday, and there was some leftover cake, and I ate a slice. So it's just, I didn't, to be honest, it was nice, but I didn't. It's not something that I went, oh, I'm going to go back there and buy more cake and have in the fridge, stuff like that. So I went back. One thing that Tom was talking about, this Diet Coke, I was addicted to regular Coke because I thought Diet Coke was very bad. Yeah, like the regular one was good. And I really changed that drinking carbonated water. I kind of I have every time I eat, I drink with carbonated, so it doesn't make me feel like I need a Coke or something. And after a while, I just I don't even want it anymore. It's very interesting how it
There you
changes
go.
things.
There you go.
Yeah.
And in the comments, Amy says, I love Crown and flavored seltzer. So yeah, that's awesome.
I bought some seltzer not recently. I don't know. I tried to see the ingredients, but they don't have ingredients, right? I mean, you cannot see it. And that made me feel like weird, like stomach wise. I didn't feel good. It's something about it. I don't know if because it's zero sugar. I don't know if they put some kind of the sweeteners. Like there's some things I cannot use in my regular when I do my bread and stuff. I don't use those allulose, allulose. I cannot use it. It really upsets me. So I don't know if what they putting in there. There is something without sugar at all.
So I mean, there is carbonated water that you can get without any flavorings.
Okay, hold on. You talk about carbonated water, or the seltzer is not with alcohol?
Seltzer is not with alcohol. No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry then. I thought seltzer was with alcohol because I got some that would say seltzers that was alcohol in it.
No, they might have seltzer drinks that have alcohol in them, but just seltzer water is just.
Oh yeah, normally I have a Topo Chico. I really like that one. My husband really liked this one, so that's I like Crocs. I saw somebody put it on who. I really like it too, but I normally try to get something without flavor. I don't know. Yeah. But I can put vodka with those with the flavor probably, so there is no sugar when I want to do something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry guys. I'm just talking about alcohol now.
Well, thank you, Ivana. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys for being here for me. I appreciate that.
Always. Claire, you wanted to say something?
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry as well. I haven't been there for a couple of weeks, but today I could make it.
Good. No problem. I get it. You're all the way in France, so it's hard to get that time zones to fix to match up.
Yeah. I just wanted to share my last week. I was on holiday with my son alone. And okay, there is as well something happening with me currently that was changing my eating habits. I've got braces on my teeth, and so I have to eat all my meal in only 2 hours because I have to keep the braces 22 hours a day. And in the past, I was eating for longer than this. So now I have to eat faster.
Okay.
And so I went on holidays with my boy, and I'm used to eat a really clean, what I can say, clean carnivore diet. I'm eating tons of yolks and butter, and they are all from my local farmer. It's raw butter and everything. And then I was on holiday. I brought some food with me to be able to be sure to have enough. But we're as well eating out, and we exercise a lot without wanting to exercise because we're in a park, like with a roller coaster and everything, and we walk around 15 kilometers a day. Like in miles, it should be almost 25 miles a day. No, the opposite. 10 miles a day. And so it was a lot of exercises and eating in the restaurant with not the perfect food I'm used to eat. And I was hungry, really hungry, and I could adapt. And when we were in the park one morning, even if I had a lovely breakfast, I didn't feel really good. I was feeling weak, but I already walked 8,000 steps. And I say to my boy, okay, I need butter. And he say to me, Mom, we are in the park. You cannot get butter. And I say, yeah, but I need fat. I really need fat. I feel like my body is wanting it so much. And what I did is I went to the first coffee place I found, and at 11 a.m. I asked for butter. They looked at me and say, oh, sorry, we don't have. Maybe in this restaurant. And they showed me a way inside the park, another restaurant, and I went there. And I asked for butter, and they say, yeah, we have, but the one we are cooking with and is salted. And how do you want it? And I say, it doesn't matter, just put it in a cup. I just need to eat fat. And they gave me this crappy butter. I think it's the cheapest butter ever. It's only butter, but the poorest brand ever, and it was salted. And I'm used to raw, perfect, non-salting salted butter, and it tasted so good. Really, it tasted so good. And then all the trip, okay, I went to buy more butter outside the park, but it was not the one I'm used to and everything, but I didn't care. And I went to the restaurant when I was eating carnivore food, but not my food. And I was so glad I could adapt. I could really adapt. And yeah, we can stay carnivore wherever you are. And yeah, it might not be the perfect carnivore diet, but it was perfect for me at this time. And it has been much better than if I restricted myself because I couldn't have the quality I'm used to.
That's good.
And yeah, I was really pleased of this. And yeah, on my week has been like a lot of new experiences like this, and it was good. Yesterday we went back home, and my parents were coming to visit to pick up my son because I'm working next week and he's on holidays, and so he will stay with them. And so I had a lot of stress because I had to go back home and drive 300 miles back home, then prepare my house, prepare the meal, go to the grocery, welcome my parents, everything. And I could handle it. It wasn't perfect, but I could handle it.
That's amazing.
And they left this morning. And yeah, like if my body react to the tons of stress I was having with all this, I ate like crazy today, really like crazy. I just had another meal right now, and it lasts for 1 hour, and I couldn't stop eating. Like if I needed all these nutrients to be back to some peace. And I'm feeling really peaceful now. And yeah, I wanted to share this good experience because it's something to be carnivore at home or in our day-to-day life, and it's something else to be carnivore outside with people around. And yeah, everything is possible, and we just have to not to worry too much about everything and about the perfection.
That's good. That is good. Because I think sometimes we do, just have it at home, and then we either, don't go on the vacation or the holiday or whatever, but then we go off. So I love that you were able to stay on your plan, but just to lower your expectations with the quality. And then whenever you get back to just feast on all the good stuff.
Yeah. And with my illness, when you had eating disorder, you're always requiring perfection. You always want to be perfect. And I was working on it, like forcing myself not to be perfect someday, just to be human. And then this week it came by itself. I didn't force myself, and I was not expecting the perfection. And I was so glad I was so imperfect, and everything went went good. And my son told me like, oh, it's really good because you're not worrying about every single small thing.
Aw.
And I said, yeah, you're right.
He noticed. That's awesome.
He noticed, because in the past I would have been a bit mad because of not everything going on as I planned, but now everything is fine.
That's so great. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Claire. I think it's important. And Chris puts in the chat, I am way better equipped to handle stress thanks to carnivore. And sounds like you are too. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. And Amy, you wanted to share something?
Good morning, everybody. I don't know why I have such a hard time getting to this meeting. It's been a while since I've been here, so
that's okay. Great to have you.
Glad to be here today. I had a CAC test done yesterday, and it was so much better than some of the other. I'm working with a functional provider and with lots and lots of tests run. And anyway, my CAC was 0. So
wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
In comparison to a 301 total cholesterol and a LDL of 207, I wasn't sure what to expect. And I'm like still 250 pounds. So, I mean, like, I wasn't sure that it was going to be, 0, but I love that it's 0. Not that I don't need to do like I've got a whole lot of gut issues, and I've had to take it a step further than just eating carnivore, because it just the body recomposition is not happening. The gut issues, I have IBS as well, like Chris talked about, maybe a slightly different type. I have IBS-D, and it just is not resolving. So I have gone this step further, and it's involving some supplements that are just driving me crazy because there's different phases to it, and I don't like to take anything, but I'm, that's how desperate I am. So, I mean, I've been dealing with this for many, many, many years, and I'd like to get on with living, and it impacts my work, impacts travel. It greatly impacts travel. Like I'd rather be anywhere than sitting in a plane waiting to take off when you're not really supposed to be at, the anxiety and everything just all together just is horrible. So I'm on that journey, and like I said, hopeful, and oh, Karen is just so busy, and that was like the fastest trip to Walmart I've ever seen in my life. And I can't wait to meet her at the meetup in Chicago.
Oh, awesome. You're going to get to go?
So, yeah, that'll be my first meetup. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm
all right, I got to comment real fast. Amy,
yes.
I'm really looking forward to meeting you too. We're doing this cleanup, and there's supposed to be people here, well, not here, but somewhere else, to get garbage bags and clippers, and they're not around. So I just did a quick Walmart run to get some of that stuff. So with my group.
It's like that's the fastest Walmart ever.
It's been fun. There's my kayak. Jackie helped me load it up. There's we're going kayaking. There's my buddy Mindy. Okay, that's it.
So fun.
Bye, Karen.
Okay, we're gonna play pickleball after the meetup, and you just don't have a down moment with Karen.
No, I gotta keep on moving. See you guys later.
That's great. Thanks for showing up, Karen.
And then I'm going to Oregon in July, and I'm thinking, I love Jackie's house so much, I might just show up at her doorstep, but probably not.
Oh, look at her. She's saying, yeah, come on.
My cousin lives in Wenatchee, right by where Jackie is. So who knows? Anyway, awesome. Glad to be here. And I'm having people over today. My husband spent most of the night smoking a brisket, and
awesome.
I had a friend that, I'm close with her, and she just, I thought she was asking about how to, switch over to carnivore, but really she was just wanting to figure out what she could bring that I could eat. I'm like, oh my gosh, please do not worry about it. We're smoking an entire brisket, and there's only going to be 8 of us. I'm going to be fine. You bring something that everybody else will want to eat. That's what I would prefer that you do. Like, poor girl. Anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Amy. I appreciate that. And I'm so excited about that result. That tells me with your CAC like that, you are on the right track. I think that sometimes it's this huge, ship, our health, and it just takes time to get it to turn around. And it sounds like you are taking the steps that you need to listen to your body and to make those changes. And I am so excited to watch you continue to heal. Awesome. So Angela, you wanted to add something? I can't hear you, baby. You gotta hit the mute. Oh, there you go.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to say that I'm still trying to continue to stick with the carnivore way. I kind of did bad, had a little pop, but I got my chicken out, I got my bacon out. So I'm gonna be cooking that today. And just want to say I haven't given up. I haven't been totally carnivore, but it's always on my mind. I haven't given up. So just the update, that was all.
Oh, thank you so much. I love hearing your updates. And honestly, I really think it's so important because there's so many people out there who hear these success stories, that are amazing. But I think it's important to understand the struggle as well. That it's okay wherever you're at, just start wherever you're at. And I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Angela.
No problem.
All right. Well, this has been a great meeting. Thank you guys so much. I love meeting with you guys every Saturday to talk about all of these things and to hear your stories, to hear your struggles, and to hopefully bring you some hope. All right. I will see you next Saturday. Bye. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the group. There is always so much beauty in being transparent and in really recognizing that we're all not alone on this journey. And so if you want to, feel free to join the Saturday support groups. They're every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you need more individualized care, then reach out to me and email me at innerclaritysystem@gmail.com. And I would love to walk through and show you what it looks like to work with me one-on-one. All right, thanks.